So, I think that's very important for us to emphasize that one of the most important issues we face today, both as marketers, educators, producers of cannabis products, CBD, hemp, and marijuana, is bioavailability. So the products that you've been researching and the formulations that you've been researching, really important, because bioavailability has not been something that is top of mind. It's only now becoming top of mind because it was because the consumer would say, oh, I could take this to relieve my stress, or take this to maybe calm my relax my inflammation, or help me sleep better. And there was very little conversation or education on the percentage of bioavailability, how fast. That people want to know, yes, if I take a capsule, how long will it be before it starts to take effect, or oil tincture under the tongue. So one of the things I really like to point out is that the research and development of products that you're doing, bioavailability, the value proposition of getting more of the medicine into the bloodstream by bypassing the liver, eliminating that level of metabolism, right? Yep. Is a really important piece of research that you're doing. So you should maybe talk to that a bit more.
Sure. I mean, you're right about the fact that bioavailability was largely ignored in cannabis industry, and that makes sense because people need to understand how it's going to work, right? They need to know it's going to work, and then the second level, or maybe another level of investigation, would be to address the pharmacokinetics or the bioavailability issues of that particular compound. And people have done that, and they have designed all kinds of ways to increase the solubility of CBD. The CBD solubility is really bad. It's like nanograms per milliliter or something like this. So it's very small. It's almost insoluble. And so people have addressed at least the first half of the bioavailability issue. And I say the first half. I'm going to go back and say something here. The intestinal epithelial cells that bioavailability is the first filter. And then the second filter is the liver. So CBD had double whammy. First, it was insoluble, so never even got past the first filter. And what did get past the first filter got to the second filter and got whammied again. So it got double whammied, and that's why its bioavailability is 6%. So people have addressed at least the first filter with the solubility issue. But not very many people have addressed the second issue, which is the liver filter issue. With magnesium CBDa or cannabinoid, we've addressed both. We've addressed both the first filter issue and the second filter issue. So our bioavailability should be, well, it's expected to be much higher than what CBD is.
Yes, and I'll point that out because normally people have been sold on the idea, well, if you're taking 2 milligrams a drop, maybe you need 4 milligrams. Increasing potency is not the same as increasing bioavailability.
Well, that's right, because every single biologically active agent has two components to it. There's the first part of getting it into the body, which I call the pharmacokinetic part, and then once it's in the body, it has to go to the site where the pharmacologic action needs to occur. And that's the pharmacodynamic part. And it turns out that CBDa, or the acid form of CBD, is actually more potent in that regard in a lot of different places. Like, for instance, the serotonin receptor. CBDa is far more potent than CBD at the serotonin receptor. And that's the receptor that's responsible for things like mood, anxiety, depression, nausea. So, CBDa, not only is it better, well, our version of CBD is better because of the bioavailability, but CBDa in itself is better than CBD for treating those kinds of disorders. I'm not saying that CBDa displaces CBD, because CBD does have its place, but CBDa for those particular conditions is probably going to be proved to be better than CBD products.